So I want to show you how to solve some of the problems in the Chapter 5 quiz. The very first problem from me was that Hillary has $96,500 to invest in a special savings account called Certificate of Deposit, or CD for short. The CD earns a simple interest rate of 3.5%. How long in years will she have to wait until she has $1,116,765, assuming no additional deposits or withdrawals? So we want to look to see how we do this problem. The first thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to make this smaller so I can actually see the information, is I'm going to actually think about what this problem would look like. And what I have is, I know that this is simple interest. So I would first write down the simple interest formula, which is F is equal to P times 1 plus RT. And what all that means is F is actually what we call the future value, P is the present value, R is the interest rate, and T is the time. So what I do is I write down all of these variables, and I write down which ones I know. So I know she has $96,500. That's what we start with. So that's my present value. She wants invested in account. It's going to earn 3.5% interest. So my interest rate is 0.035. And then she wants to, how long does she have to wait till it's 116,765? So that's my future value. And the only thing I don't know is time. So all I have to do is put all this information into this function and solve for the thing I don't know. So I'm going to start putting my future value in. Make this a little bigger now so I can actually see things. And I now have then I've got my present value, which is the 96,500 times 1 plus my R, which is 0.035 times T. So now all I gotta do is figure out how to solve this. So one of the things I could do is divide both sides by the 96,500. And so then I don't want to actually take my calculator just yet to find out what that is, because I don't want to cause rounding errors. But I just happen to know that this is still 116,765 divided by 96,500. And that equals 1 plus 0.035 T. So then I notice that I've got this 1 attached here. So I'm going to subtract it off. And again, I don't want to actually simplify this yet because I don't want to cause rounding error. We'll just have that be a different color. So I still have the 116,765 divided by 96,500 minus 1, and that's equal to 0.035 T. Then I notice at the last bit that all I got to do is divide this by 0.035 on both sides, and I will get the answer. So now I can take out my calculator, and I would actually do this as the 116,765 divided by the 96,500. Find out what that is, subtract 1 from that, and then divide that whole answer by 0.35. And when I do that, I end up with that T is equal to 6 years. Now the next problem, I'm going to do all the problems together here. So the next problem on this was that Kim and Taylor will need $145,000 in 30 months to pay their property tax. The bank has a 30-month CD that is earning an amazing 7.9% compounded weekly. How much should they deposit today so they will have pay the property tax bill in 30 months? So this again is another problem like that where I have to figure this out. But what I want to do is, again, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so I can read my stuff again and write things down. Because I notice it talks about compounding, I know that this is not simple interest. So then I just write down the compounding interest formula, which the compounding interest formula is F is equal to P times 1 plus R over N to the NT. So I have all that information here. I happen to know my future value. Actually, I'm gonna write down, I don't know my future value. I'm gonna write down all the information here of my F, my P, my R, my N, and my T. And when I look at this, I know I need 145,000. So that actually is my future value. That's what I need sometime in the future. So there's my $145,000. We need it in 30 months. So my time is 30 months, but time has to be in years. So I need to change that 30 months into years. So I know that 1 year has 12 months. So that means I'm going to basically take 30 and divide it by 12. And that will get me my years. They want to know, I also have an amazing 7.9%, and that really is amazing because there's never anybody who gets 7.9%. So let's put that as our rate. And I'm doing it compounded weekly. So weekly, there's 52 weeks in a year. I mean, there's really not, but we're going to go with 52 weeks in a year. All right, so now the only thing I don't know is my present value. So this tells me I'm going to use this formula, stick all the numbers in that I want to, and look for just the present value. And then I can just solve for it kind of the same way I did, find out what this number is, divide both sides by it, and you have the answer. You can also, if you want to, you can use a computer website. So let's try the computer website. It's right here. And this is another way. You can also use your calculator, by the way. So I'm going to show you all different ways. So I'm just going to grab this. All right. So now what I want to do is I don't know what our present value is. I'm going to leave that empty. I don't have any payments. So I'm going to put that as 0. My future value, I want to be the $145,000. My annual interest rate was the 0.079. My periods, well, this is where it gets a little tricky. I'm doing it for 30 months, and I'm doing it for 52 months a year. So it actually is 52 times that 30 divided by 12. So you actually have to figure that out on your own. And so we get that there's going to be 130 periods. And it is weekly, so we do need to change this to weekly. And then all we have to do is find the one we don't know, which is the present value. So there's my present value. It's negative because, again, it's going away from me. So that's why we consider it negative. If, again, I'd put this into the formula and solve this the exact same way, I would have gotten the same answer and found out what it is. So if you want to use your calculator, you can also use it on the calculator. On the calculator, we would go into our TVM solver, which depending on which TI-83 or 84 you have, it may be in the apps program, and maybe in programs, it may be in math. In this one, it's in the apps program under finance. And it's TVM solver, time, value, money. And again, I need to put in my N, which is how many, and I've already figured that out, but the calculator is kind of nice because you can actually type in we have 30 divided by 12 times 52 weeks. So that'd be that number there. And then my I% was, and this is actually a percent. So you don't put this in as a decimal, you actually put in the 7.9. Oh, I might have made that mistake on the other program. Let's see if I made that mistake on the other program. Let's go look at that real fast. I did. I put this in as a decimal, but it should be 7.9%. That's why my number seemed really low. And so, or really high. So it's 119,000 you have to come up with ahead of time. On the calculator, same thing. My present value is what I'm looking to find. My payment is 0. I don't have any payments here. The future value is 145,000. My payments per year is, I'm not doing payments per year, but I am doing compounding per year, and it was 12 months, 12, because it's 12 months. And so, I'm sorry, no, it's 52 per year. There we go. Okay. And then what you do is you just put yourself on the one you want to find. I want to find the present value. So I'm going to put my cursor next to present value, hit the big second button. I'm sorry, big the green button, the alpha button, and the enter button, and it will solve that for you. The reason for the negative sign is because that money has to go away from you into this account. So that's why it's negative. So again, you can either do it this way, you can do it with the formula, or you can use the calculator. All those work. So now we know the answer to that one. Let's see what the next problem is. The next problem, whoops, sorry about that. The next problem is question 3. How much I want to save for a vacation. My plan is to put $175 each month into an ordinary annuity that earns an annual interest rate of 1.5% for the next 4 years. How much will be in the account after 4 years? So again, I need to do this problem. I want to kind of write down the things I know. So I happen to be talking about putting money away. So I'm making a payment to it is to myself, but it still is a payment. 175. I have an ordinary annuity, so I probably should go look for the formula for the ordinary annuity. It is F is equal to payment times 1 plus R over N to the NT minus 1 all over R over N. So I know my payment already. I need to figure out the other pieces. I need my F. I need, let me make this a bit bigger. I need my R, and I need my N, and I need my T. And my R is, I have a 1.5%, so 0.1015. I'm doing it for the next 4 years, so my time is 4, and I'm putting it away monthly, so my N is 12. And I want to know how much will I have in the account after 4 years. So I want to know that future value. So I could put all the numbers in, put the 175 in here, put all the numbers in the right places, and then do all the multiplication. I would do this slowly with this piece here, then find out that answer, raise it to that power, subtract 1, divide by 1, and then finally multiply by the payment. But again, I'm going to show you how to do this on your calculator. The nice thing is that this is, again, the same idea as the other one we did. We can use that TVM solver. So you're going to go up to N. N again is how many payments you're going to have. So we have 12 for how many payments per year, and we have times 4 years. So 448. My interest rate, again, I don't put it as a decimal, I put it as a percent, so it's 1.5%. My present value is 0. I don't have any money in that account at the moment, but my payment was going to be $175, but it's going to go away from me, so it's negative to make it go away from me. My payments per year are 12 because I'm doing it monthly. And then I can go find my future value. So again, I'm going to put my cursor next to future value, hit the big alpha button and the enter button, and it tells me how much I'm going to have in that account. I'm going to have $8,651.54. You think, oh, I should round that up, but the bank's going to want to keep that point, that 662 partial fraction. They're not going to want to give you that. They're not going to want to round and have to give you more money they have. They're always going to round that down. If you want to use that website, we can also use the website. Again, my present value was 0 because I didn't start with anything. I'm making a payment of negative 175 because the money is going away from me. My interest rate was 1.5. My periods, this one I actually have to type it in. It unfortunately doesn't do this multiplication for you, so you have to find it out on your own. And we are doing it monthly. Then I just go find the one I want, which is in this case, future value. And notice I get the same exact answer. They did round it up. I don't like that, but they rounded it up on this one. All right, the next problem on this quiz was question 4. Question 4, I noticed there's a lot of problems with, so I want to actually talk about how to do this problem. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and stop this so I can just start the recording again. So we're